On the outskirts of a quiet city stands an old, nearly abandoned hotel with a dark reputation. Locals whisper about room 306, a room many guests have checked into, but few have ever spoken about afterward. Some say strange noises echo from it at night. Others claim previous guests left in terror before sunrise. One evening, a tired traveler arrives at the hotel during a heavy storm. The receptionist appears nervous when assigning a room and hesitates before handing over the key to room 306. His warning: if you hear anything unusual, don't open the door, lingers in the traveler's mind. As soon as the traveler enters the room, an icy chill fills the air despite the closed windows. The lights flicker briefly. Deep scratch marks cover parts of the walls, and an old mirror hangs crookedly above a dusty dresser. For a moment, the traveler notices something strange in the reflection, a shadow standing behind him. But when he turns around, no one is there. At midnight, a slow knock echoes from the door. When he gathers the courage to open it, the hallway is completely empty. Moments later, the bathroom tap turns on by itself. The mobile signal disappears. The television switches on, showing static before briefly revealing the image of a pale woman staring directly at him. While searching for answers, the traveler finds an old diary hidden beneath the bed. It reveals that years ago, a woman was mysteriously murdered in room 306, and her case was never solved. As the lights flicker violently, the temperature drops further. A faint whisper fills the room. When he looks into the mirror again, the woman is standing right behind him. Frozen in fear, the traveler slowly turns around, but the room is empty again. His heart pounds as the whispering grows louder, echoing from every corner of room 306. The lights begin flickering uncontrollably, and the door suddenly slams shut on its own. When he tries to open it, the handle won't move. The mirror cracks with a sharp sound, and a dark shadow forms inside it. This time, the figure steps out. A pale woman with hollow eyes and tangled hair stands before him. Her voice is weak but filled with anger. She points toward the diary lying on the floor, as if demanding something. The traveler quickly flips through the final pages and discovers the shocking truth. The hotel manager from years ago was responsible for her death, and the crime was covered up. The spirit isn't trying to harm him. She wants her story revealed. Suddenly, the room begins to shake violently. Furniture moves on its own, and the windows burst open as freezing wind rushes inside. The spirit lets out a piercing scream. The traveler promises aloud that he will expose the truth and bring justice. As soon as he makes the promise, everything stops. The room becomes silent. The spirit slowly fades away, and the door unlocks. Morning arrives. The storm is gone. The traveler rushes to check out, but the receptionist stares at him strangely. When he looks at the hotel register, there is no record of his name, as if he was never there. Shaken, he leaves the hotel. Later, when he opens his bag, the old diary is still inside, and a new line is written on the last page. Frozen in fear, the traveler slowly turns around, but the room is empty again. His heart pounds as the whispering grows louder, echoing from every corner of room 306. The lights begin flickering uncontrollably, and the door suddenly slams shut on its own. When he tries to open it, the handle won't move. The mirror cracks with a sharp sound, and a dark shadow forms inside it. This time, the figure steps out. A pale woman with hollow eyes and tangled hair stands before him. Her voice is weak but filled with anger. She points toward the diary lying on the floor, as if demanding something. The traveler quickly flips through the final pages and discovers the shocking truth. The hotel manager from years ago was responsible for her death, and the crime was covered up. The spirit isn't trying to harm him. She wants her story revealed. Suddenly, the room begins to shake violently. Furniture moves on its own, and the windows burst open as freezing wind rushes inside. The spirit lets out a piercing scream. The traveler promises aloud that he will expose the truth and bring justice. As soon as he makes the promise, everything stops. The room becomes silent. The spirit slowly fades away, and the door unlocks. Morning arrives. The storm is gone. The traveler rushes to check out, but the receptionist stares at him strangely. When he looks at the hotel register, there is no record of his name, as if he was never there. Shaken, he leaves the hotel. Later, when he opens his bag, the old diary is still inside, and a new line is written on the last page. The scream echoes through the hallway. Then everything goes silent. Inside room 306, the traveler backs away from the mirror, but the reflection of the hotel manager does not move with him. Instead, it steps forward on its own. The real room remains empty. Yet in the mirror, the manager's twisted smile grows wider. A cold voice fills the air. "You should have left." The lights burst, plunging the room into darkness. Only the mirror glows faintly. The traveler feels an invisible force grab his arm and throw him against the wall. The diary falls from his hand, landing open on the floor. Its pages flip rapidly as if blown by a violent wind, but the windows are closed. New words carve themselves into the final page. The truth demands a sacrifice. Suddenly, the spirit of the woman appears again, but this time she is not weak. She stands between the traveler and the mirror. The room trembles as if two unseen forces are fighting. The mirror begins to crack further, spreading like a spider web. The manager's reflection starts screaming in rage. Dark smoke pours out from the glass, filling the ceiling. The woman turns toward the traveler one last time. Her expression is calm now, almost grateful. With a deafening shatter, the mirror explodes. A blinding flash fills the room. Silence. Morning sunlight streams through the curtains. Room 306 looks ordinary again. No broken glass. No diary. No sign of a struggle. But there is one change. On the hotel's front desk sits a new photograph in a frame. A picture of the traveler. Underneath it, a small engraved plate reads, "Eson's body refused to move. That breath, cold and rotten, lingered against his ear. His skin crawled as goosebumps spread down his arms. He slowly stepped forward, trying to convince himself that panic was playing tricks on his mind. Then the ground exploded with sound. A horrifying scream tore through the graveyard. Not from the air, not from the trees, but from beneath the grave. The soil beneath the nail began to sink inward, collapsing as if something underneath was pushing upward. Cracks spread across the surface like veins. Dirt shifted violently. Eson stumbled backward in terror. "No, this isn't real," he whispered. He turned to run, but he couldn't move. His coat felt tight, pulled from behind. He gasped, convinced that something had grabbed him. His hands clawed at his shoulders, expecting to feel fingers digging into his flesh. There was nothing, yet he couldn't move forward. The scream rose again, louder this time, mixed with a distorted cry that sounded almost human, almost like his own voice. In panic, he yanked forward with all his strength. He fell hard onto the ground. His phone slipped from his hand and landed face up in the dirt. The camera was still recording. Through the cracked screen, the darkness seemed to shift unnaturally. Behind Eson, something began to rise. Not fully visible, just a tall shadow forming against the night sky. Eson slowly turned his head. His eyes widened. His mouth opened to scream. And the recording captured one final, blood-curdling cry that echoed far beyond the graveyard walls. Years pass, yet the hotel never closes. Ownership changes. Staff members come and go. Renovations are made. But one rule never changes. Room 306 is never removed. Locals avoid the building now. Online reviews mention strange experiences. Cold air with no source, missing time between 3 o'clock and 3:10 a.m., and vivid nightmares about mirrors. Still, thrill seekers continue to visit. One night, a paranormal investigator decides to document the truth. Armed with cameras and recording devices, he confidently checks into room 306. He live streams everything, mocking the legends. At 3:06 a.m., every device shuts off at once. The room temperature drops sharply. A soft whisper fills the air, not one voice, but many. The investigator's flashlight flickers back on. In the mirror, dozens of figures now stand behind him. The pale woman, the traveler, the couple, and others never seen before. He slowly turns around. The room is empty. When he looks back at the mirror, he is no longer holding the camera. He is no longer standing. Instead, he appears inside the reflection, trapped among the others, pounding silently against the glass. Outside the room, the hallway remains still. Morning arrives. Hotel staff knock politely on the door. No answer. They unlock it. The room is perfectly clean. No equipment. No signs anyone stayed there. Downstairs at the reception desk, A new photograph is being placed in a silver frame. The paranormal investigator stares outward from the picture, eyes wide with terror. Behind him in the image, faintly visible, is the number written in dark shadow. 306. And if you look very closely at the mirror in room 306, you might notice an extra reflection standing behind you. Ghost. The police searched the graveyard for hours. They brought dogs. They brought shovels. They even dug around the cracked grave. But they found nothing. No body. No blood. No footprints leading away. The case was officially declared a missing person report. The officers blamed panic, darkness, and imagination. They said Hassan must have run off. Maybe he was hiding. Maybe it was a prank gone wrong. But his friends knew what they saw in that video. They heard that scream. And they saw that shadow. Days turned into weeks. The graveyard returned to silence. Until one night, another group of teenagers, laughing and filming for social media, stood outside the same rusted gates. They had heard about the disappearance story. To them, it was just an urban legend. One of them pointed toward the cracked grave. "Let's try the same dare," he said. Midnight struck. The wind began to rise. Far in the distance, a dog started howling. As the boy lifted his hammer, the others recorded, joking nervously. The first strike echoed. The second strike followed. And then, a scream tore through the night. Not from the boy, not from the trees, but from beneath the earth. The camera dropped to the ground. In the shaking footage, the cracked grave could be seen clearly. For just a split second, before the screen went black, a new name slowly appeared carved into the stone. Under the faded date of 1893, there was now another year. And it was the current one. The grave was never empty. It was waiting.